I used to start every morning with a multivitamin, until I discovered it was doing more harm than good. What I did next changed everything, and it might just change your health too. Part 1. The morning I decided to stop. I was 74 the morning I finally threw that bottle into the trash. It wasn't a dramatic moment. No sudden illness. No breaking news report. Just a quiet realization as I stood in my kitchen, holding the same plastic bottle I had trusted for over a decade. I had been taking multivitamins every morning since my early 60s. I believed, like many do, that it was just smart insurance. A one-a-day way to patch the nutritional holes I might be missing. But here's what was really happening. I was still tired by noon. My knees ached more each month. My memory felt foggier after lunch. And blood tests? They still showed I was low in certain key nutrients, even though I was supplementing daily. It didn't add up. How could I be swallowing all these vitamins and minerals, yet still feel depleted? That morning, I paused. I looked at the label. And I realized. I couldn't pronounce half the ingredients. I didn't know what most of them did. And nowhere did it say how well they were absorbed by someone my age. It wasn't panic that made me stop. It was the quiet truth, this wasn't helping. And maybe, just maybe, it was holding me back. Part 2. What I thought multivitamins were doing for me. I used to believe multivitamins were a kind of safety net. They promised energy, immunity, bone strength, sharper focus, and healthy aging, all packed neatly into a little capsule. Every label made bold claims. Supports vitality. Clinically tested formula. All-in-one essential nutrients. And I wanted to believe it. I'd take one with breakfast, wash it down with orange juice, and feel a small sense of control over my aging body. But over the years, something felt off. I was still experiencing symptoms that should have improved. Occasional leg cramps at night. Low motivation in the mornings. Dry skin, despite hydrating. Sluggish digestion. Weren't these the very things the vitamins were supposed to fix? At my next checkup, I asked my doctor, shouldn't my multivitamin be helping with this? Her answer changed everything. Multivitamins aren't built for your body. Especially not at your age. They're generic. They're cheap. And most of them pass through your system without doing much at all. That's when the question started. Was I wasting time? Wasting money? Was my body even absorbing any of it? I went home and started researching. Part 3. What I learned that shocked me. What I found left me stunned. Multivitamins, especially the over-the-counter kind sold in big-name pharmacies, are often poorly absorbed, incorrectly dosed, filled with synthetic additives, formulated for the average adult, not a 74-year-old body. Here are the truths no one tells you. Most multivitamins use synthetic forms of nutrients that the aging digestive system struggles to absorb. For example, folic acid instead of methylfolate. Or cyanocobalamin instead of methylcobalamin, a better form of B12 for older adults. The one-size-fits-all model doesn't work after 60. We metabolize nutrients differently. Our stomach acid declines. We absorb less B12, magnesium, and iron. Yet the multivitamin still assumes we're 35. Nutrient competition is real. Some minerals block the absorption of others. Calcium can interfere with magnesium and zinc. Iron can disrupt copper uptake. Taking them all at once? That often creates internal traffic. Some multivitamins contain unnecessary or even harmful fillers, dyes, and binders, things like titanium dioxide or polyethylene glycol. They may help preserve shelf life, but they serve no purpose for your health. Oversupplementation can actually backfire. Excess vitamin A or iron, for example, can strain your liver or promote oxidative stress. Yet most people have no idea what their actual levels are before they supplement. The more I read, the more it made sense why I still felt tired, why my body wasn't thriving. I realized I wasn't supporting my health. I was just swallowing a habit. Part 4. What happened after I stopped my multivitamin? For the first time in over 10 years, I didn't take a multivitamin with breakfast. And to be honest, I expected to feel worse. After all, I was cutting off the supplement that promised to support my energy, immunity, bones, and brain. But what followed surprised me. The first week? Nothing dramatic. No crash. No wave of fatigue. No change in appetite or focus. But something subtle began to shift by the second week. My digestion felt calmer. My stomach wasn't as bloated after meals. And I noticed I wasn't rushing to the bathroom within the hour like I used to. Even more surprising? My afternoon headache stopped. For months, I had been experiencing a dull pressure around 2 or 3 p.m., the kind that made me want to lie down. I'd blamed screen time or low blood sugar. But it disappeared entirely within days of stopping the multivitamin. By the third week, my joints, especially my right knee, felt less tight in the mornings. I couldn't be sure yet, but something about removing that capsule from my routine felt like lifting a layer of noise my body had been trying to filter out for years. I felt cleaner. Quieter. More in tune. It made me realize I hadn't needed more stuff. I needed clarity. Part 5. Why one size fits all doesn't fit anyone over 60. At 74, your body is not the same as it was at 44. Your digestion is slower. Your enzyme levels have shifted. Your stomach produces less acid, which affects how you break down food and absorb nutrients. You're more vulnerable to deficiencies in key vitamins, not because you're eating poorly, but because your body simply can't extract what it once could. And yet, almost every multivitamin on the shelf treats you like a middle-aged athlete. Here's why the one-a-day-for-everyone model fails us. Calcium and magnesium taken together can cancel each other out. Yet many multivitamins lump them into one pill. Vitamin B12 needs stomach acid to be absorbed. As we age and acid decreases, we absorb less, yet most multivitamins use the cheapest, hardest to absorb version, cyanocobalamin. Iron overload is dangerous. Yet most multis include iron by default, even though postmenopausal women and older men rarely need more. Vitamin D is essential, but rarely in the amount older adults require. Most multis offer 400 IU or 600 IU. Research shows older adults often need between 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily for bone and immune support. Zinc and copper compete for absorption. When taken in the wrong ratio, one can suppress the other. Still, many multis use random or unbalanced combinations. Taking everything together in a single tablet might feel convenient. But for a body over 60, it's like asking a slow ferry to carry 10 speeding cars at once. It's inefficient and overwhelming. Your system needs simplicity, sequence, and support. Not a shotgun approach. Part 6. My doctor's surprising advice: less is more. After I stopped the multivitamin, I sat down with my doctor, a functional medicine practitioner who specialized in adults over 60. I asked her, if I shouldn't take a multivitamin, then what should I do? She smiled gently and said, start by feeding your body what it recognizes. Not a pill. Not a blend. Just real, bioavailable nutrients. From food. From sunlight. From targeted support when it's actually needed. It was the opposite of what I expected. No complex supplement stack. No giant box of pills. No trendy powders or superfood capsules. Instead, she suggested this. Get a nutrient-focused blood test. See what your body is actually lacking, not what a label assumes you're missing. Focus on food-first healing. Build meals around nutrient-dense whole foods, leafy greens, nuts, eggs, legumes, oily fish, fermented vegetables. Target only what's low. If your B12 is low, supplement with a methylated form. If D is low, get safe sun exposure and use liquid D3. Magnesium? Try glycinate or citrate at night. Support digestion first. A weak gut can't absorb anything, even if you take the best supplement. Focus on bitter greens, probiotics, and slowing down while eating. Her words stayed with me. Your body is wise. It's not missing 25 things. It's usually asking for 2 or 3, but in the right form, at the right time. So I stopped trying to fix everything at once. And I started to listen. Part 7, My New Morning Routine, No Multivitamin Required. After tossing out my multivitamin, I didn't feel lost. I felt lighter. But I also knew I needed to create a sustainable morning routine that gave my body exactly what it needed, without overwhelm, confusion, or relying on factory-made capsules. So I stripped everything down to the essentials. Here's how my new mornings began. 1. I hydrated properly. Not just water. I added a pinch of mineral-rich sea salt and a squeeze of lemon to my first glass. This helped rehydrate me at the cellular level and gently woke up my digestion. 2. I got outside within 30 minutes of waking. Sunlight on the skin, even for just 10 minutes, resets your circadian rhythm and naturally boosts vitamin D production. It also helps regulate cortisol and improve mood. No pill can replicate what sunlight gives for free. 3. I ate a real breakfast. Instead of cereal or toast, I focused on nutrient-dense foods. 2 pasture-raised eggs, rich in B12, choline, and selenium. Steamed spinach or kale, for magnesium and folate. Half an avocado, healthy fat, potassium, and fiber. A slice of sourdough with grass-fed butter. Herbal tea or warm water with ginger. No synthetic vitamins. No guesswork. Just food my body could recognize and use. 4. I journaled how I felt, for just 2 minutes. Fatigue? Mental fog? Soreness? I noted it. Over time, I saw patterns between what I ate and how I felt. This simple step helped me become more aware of how my body responded without multivitamins. And guess what? After a month, I didn't miss the capsule. My body was responding. I felt more alert by mid-morning. I wasn't as hungry by 10 a.m. And I didn't feel the afternoon crash that used to send me hunting for coffee. I was finally feeding my body real support, not just flooding it with synthetic hope. Part 8, the 3 supplements I still take, and why. Let me be clear, I didn't give up on supplements entirely. But I stopped taking them blindly. Instead of a 25-ingredient multivitamin, I now take just 3 targeted supplements, and only after confirming they were needed. 1. Magnesium glycinate, every night before bed. Most older adults are magnesium deficient, especially those dealing with leg cramps, insomnia, or muscle tension. But not all forms are equal. I use glycinate, gentle, calming, and better for sleep. Since adding it, I've slept more deeply and noticed fewer twitches or leg spasms. 2. Vitamin D3 plus K2, based on my blood test. My doctor tested my vitamin D levels and found them low, common after 60. Instead of guessing, we tailored the dose to bring my levels to optimal. The K2 supports calcium balance and heart health, especially important when supplementing D. 3. Methylated B-complex, twice weekly. Because my B12 and folate were on the lower end, thanks to age-related absorption issues, I take a methylated B-complex twice a week. Not daily. Not overloaded. It supports my energy, focus, and mood, without flooding my body with what it doesn't need. That's it. No multivitamin. No rainbow-colored capsules. No anti-aging stack. Just a few tools, based on data, not marketing. Part 9, Food became my multivitamin. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Your kitchen is more powerful than your medicine cabinet. I started treating my meals like medicine, not just something to get through. Here's how I reshaped my food to cover the nutrients most older adults are missing. For magnesium, I added pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, and dark chocolate. For potassium, avocados, bananas, and sweet potatoes became staples. For omega-3s, I eat wild salmon twice a week and use ground flax in smoothies. For fiber and prebiotics, lentils, oats, onions, and asparagus. For gut health, fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, and plain yogurt. For iron and zinc, grass-fed beef once a week and black beans with citrus. For B vitamins, eggs, legumes, and nutritional yeast. For vitamin C, berries, oranges, and bell peppers. I didn't need to buy immune boosters or anti-aging pills. I needed to build my plate with purpose. Eating this way didn't just cover the nutritional bases, it gave me energy, joy, and peace of mind. And unlike a capsule, a warm plate of food can't be faked. Part 10. 4 Common Supplement Mistakes People Over 60 Make. As I dug deeper into the world of vitamins and aging, I noticed something unsettling. Most older adults were unknowingly sabotaging their health, despite their best intentions. Here are the 4 most common mistakes I now warn everyone over 60 to watch out for. Mistake number 1, believing more is better. We're conditioned to think if a little bit helps, more must be better. But that logic doesn't work with micronutrients. Too much vitamin A can stress the liver. Excess calcium without magnesium can calcify arteries. High doses of iron in people who don't need it can cause oxidative stress. Your body doesn't need everything, every day. It needs the right thing at the right dose in the right form. Mistake number 2, taking everything at once. Some vitamins and minerals compete with each other. Others require cofactors to be absorbed properly. For example, iron and calcium compete for absorption. Zinc and copper must be balanced or one will suppress the other. Fat-soluble vitamins, like A, D, E, K, need dietary fat to be absorbed. Throwing them all into one tablet and swallowing it with black coffee? That's a nutritional traffic jam. Mistake number 3, ignoring the gut. No matter what you take, multivitamin, mineral, herb, if your gut isn't working, you're not absorbing much. As we age, stomach acid decreases, enzyme production slows, and the gut lining becomes more sensitive. If your digestion is off, bloating, constipation, indigestion, even the most expensive supplements won't deliver results. Gut health comes first. Mistake number 4, not testing, just guessing. This is perhaps the biggest one. Most people over 60 are taking supplements based on articles, ads, or assumptions, not based on their actual needs. Testing for vitamin D, B12, ferritin, iron, magnesium, and homocysteine can paint a powerful picture of what's missing and what's not. Taking supplements blindly is like refueling a car without knowing what's in the tank. It might help, or it might flood the engine. Part 11, the hidden dangers of synthetic multivitamins. One of the most eye-opening moments of my journey came when I researched the exact type of multivitamin I used to take. The label sounded impressive, 25 essential nutrients, backed by science, 1 tablet daily. But underneath that surface, here's what I found. 1. Synthetic forms that don't work well. Many multivitamins use cheap, poorly absorbed versions of key nutrients. Folic acid instead of methylfolate, the usable form. Cyanocobalamin instead of methyl B12, especially critical for brain health in seniors. Magnesium oxide, which has very low bioavailability, less than 4% gets absorbed. These forms are chosen not for your health, but for the company's profit margins. 2. Inactive ingredients that don't belong. Some of the other ingredients in my old multivitamin included titanium dioxide, a whitening agent linked to gut irritation. Artificial colorants like red 40 and yellow 6. Polyethylene glycol, yes, that's used in antifreeze. Talc, a suspected carcinogen when inhaled or ingested over time. I'd been swallowing those every day without knowing it. 3. Misleading dosage claims. Labels often list 100% daily value, but those values were originally based on the average 25 to 35-year-old man. They rarely account for gender, age, body weight, absorption ability, pre-existing conditions. For older adults, 100% of the daily value might be irrelevant, or worse, insufficient. I realized my multivitamin had become a liability, not an asset. It wasn't filling gaps. It was creating new ones. Part 12. What happened when I aligned with nature again? The real shift didn't come from just removing a multivitamin. It came from rebuilding a rhythm that aligned with what my body had been asking for all along. I stopped chasing trendy health hacks. I stopped relying on synthetic crutches. And I started honoring the way my body wanted to age, not fight it, but support it. I woke up with purpose instead of fatigue. Digested meals with ease instead of heaviness. Moved through the day with less pain and more clarity. Slept without pills for the first time in years. Trusted my body again instead of fearing decline. And most of all, I felt like I had taken back control. Not by doing more, but by doing less, with intention. Part 13. My mind became clearer than it had in years. I didn't expect it. I wasn't taking a supplement for focus or memory. I wasn't doing brain training games or drinking some limitless coffee. But within a few weeks of abandoning the multivitamin and rebuilding my habits, something started to lift. The fog. The one I thought was just part of aging. The one that made me forget where I'd placed my keys, or the word I was looking for mid-sentence. Suddenly, conversations became sharper. Names came more easily. Even simple pleasures, like reading the newspaper or working on a crossword, felt smoother, clearer, almost joyful. So what changed? Well, my doctor explained it this way. The brain doesn't work in isolation. It reflects the health of the gut, the clarity of the blood, the rhythm of your sleep, and the quality of what you absorb. By improving my digestion, reducing inflammation, and feeding my body real nutrients instead of a synthetic cocktail, it freed up resources my brain had been missing. I had more choline from eggs, more magnesium from greens, more B vitamins from leafy vegetables and legumes. And I wasn't flooding my liver with chemical forms of nutrients it didn't recognize. As the gut healed and my blood sugar stabilized, the brain followed suit. I realized then that clarity doesn't come in a bottle. It comes from balance. Part 14. Food became celebration, not control. One of the quiet side effects of relying on multivitamins for years was this. I'd stopped thinking about food as medicine. I ate without much thought, assuming the pill would cover my bases. That meant more toast, more processed dinners, fewer vegetables, and fewer nutrient-rich meals. But when I stopped the supplement, I started to see food with new eyes. An avocado wasn't just healthy fat, it was potassium, folate, and fiber. Wild-caught salmon wasn't just protein, it was omega-3s, selenium, and B12. Pumpkin seeds were now a go-to snack, loaded with magnesium and zinc. Even berries became my new dessert, antioxidant-rich and gut-friendly. I began to enjoy cooking again. Simple meals became powerful. And eating felt intentional. I wasn't chasing calories or carbs. I was asking, what does my body want right now? What nutrient haven't I had today? How can I build my plate to feel strong, not stuffed? There's a strange kind of joy in knowing your body is actually using what you eat. That every bite has purpose, not pressure. I even lost a few pounds, without trying. My clothes fit better. My joints felt lighter. Not because of a diet, but because I was finally nourishing myself instead of filling in gaps. Part 15. Aging no longer feels like a battle. Before all this, aging felt like something I had to fight. The ads told me to stay young, defy time, and reverse decline. But the truth is, I'm 74. I have earned this age. What I didn't want was to feel older than I was. Now, each morning feels like a small act of trust. I'm not panicking over supplements. I'm not overwhelmed by a shelf of bottles. I'm not chasing quick fixes. Instead, I have rhythm. I have routines that serve me. I have food that heals me. And I have a body that, while imperfect, feels loved, not managed. There's a quote I now live by. Health is not the absence of illness. It's the presence of resilience. At 74, I finally feel resilient. Because when you stop outsourcing your health to a pill and start rebuilding trust from the inside out, you realize that aging isn't about fighting your body. It's about listening to it, possibly for the first time in decades. Part 16, my daily wellness routine, simple, sustainable, and supplement-free. By the time I fully transitioned away from multivitamins, I realized something important. Health doesn't need to be complicated. What your body craves, especially after 60, isn't more pills or biohacks. It's consistency, simplicity, and nourishment. So here's what my new daily wellness routine looks like. Morning. Hydration, 1 glass of warm water with lemon plus a pinch of sea salt. Sunlight, 10 to 15 minutes on the patio or short walk to activate vitamin D and set circadian rhythm. Breakfast, eggs, sautéed greens, spinach/kale, avocado, sourdough toast, olive oil. Mindfulness, I write 1 sentence about how I feel physically and emotionally. Midday. Movement, a 20-minute gentle walk, often after lunch. Lunch, lentil soup, sweet potatoes, fermented vegetables, olive oil. Targeted supplement, if needed magnesium glycinate or vitamin D3 plus K2 depending on test results. Evening. Dinner, grilled fish or legumes, leafy greens, quinoa or barley. Wind down, ginger tea or warm chamomile, 10 pages of reading. Sleep prep, low light, no screens, gratitude journaling, 1 to 2 lines. No overthinking. No rigid rules. Just rhythms that support absorption, digestion, and restoration. I'm not saying everyone needs this exact schedule. But this works for me, and it's sustainable. Part 17, the slow supplement philosophy. So, what do I do instead of a multivitamin? I follow what I now call the slow supplement method. It has just 3 principles. 1. Test, don't guess. I test my nutrient levels once or twice a year, vitamin D, B12, magnesium, iron, and homocysteine. Then I supplement only what's low, and stop when it's normalized. 2. Choose quality over quantity. I no longer buy the multivitamins with 25+ ingredients. Instead, I invest in single, high-quality forms of what I need, often liquid or capsules with no fillers. 3. Cycle off regularly. No supplement is permanent. I pause every few months to reassess. If my diet is consistent and symptoms are gone, I take a break. Supplements are not life insurance. They're bridges, not destinations. And the moment we treat them like daily candy, we risk numbing the very signals our bodies are trying to send us. Slowing down allowed me to reconnect with those signals. Part 18, a message for anyone over 60 feeling overwhelmed by pills. If you're over 60 and feel like your day begins and ends with pill bottles. If you're confused by all the claims. If you're tired of spending money on things that don't make you feel better. Here's what I want you to know. You are not broken. Your body isn't failing. It's just asking to be heard. Multivitamins aren't evil. But they're not sacred either. Sometimes they help. Sometimes they mask. Sometimes they even harm. You deserve to understand what your body needs, not just guess. And you deserve to age with confidence, not confusion. So, if you're willing, put the multivitamin aside for a week. Pay attention to how you feel. Ask your doctor to run real tests. Start feeding yourself like you matter. Because you do. And sometimes, the most powerful health decision you'll ever make is to uncomplicate things. Like I did. At 74, I don't take a multivitamin anymore. I take ownership.